Multiplying and dividing fractions are often seen as much easier than adding and subtracting because you no longer have to find a common denominator. I repeat, you do not have to find a common denominator. Question like 5 over 9 times 3 over 15. If there are two ways to do a question like this, I'll do it both ways. You can pick which way that you prefer. First off, the most direct way to do it is to multiply your numerators and your denominators directly. So 5 times 3 along the top would give you 15, and 9 times 15 on the bottom would give you 135. To reduce that fraction, you have to find a common factor that goes into both. Let's say you divide them both by 5. 5 goes into 15 3 times on the top, and 5 goes into 135 27 times. Both of those numbers are still divisible by another number, each divisible by 3, so 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 27 9 times. And 1/9 is the lowest terms for the question of 5 over 9 times 3 over 15. The other way this question is also done is to, instead of multiplying first, you can do what's called canceling first. I'll do canceling a different color. So you look for common factors within the numerator and the denominator. They could be on the diagonal or they could be up and down. For example, I see 5 and 15 as having a common factor of a 5. I'm going to divide 5 into each. 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 15 3 times. Now on the other diagonal, I happen to have another common situation where I could take out a factor. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 9 3 times. Now to finish the question, you must multiply all the numbers that remain. So I have to multiply 1 times 1 and 3 times 3. And your final answer, of course, 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 3 is 9. The answers will always match. The question you have to, I guess your part is to decide, do you prefer to reduce smaller numbers and cancel first, or do you prefer to reduce at the end? This method here, method number 2, is only advisable if you are a neat and organized student. If you tend to be on the messy side, you may lose the numbers that you cancel, and you're going to find yourself in trouble getting the right answer if you're messy. So bear that piece of wisdom. Multiplying and dividing continued. Let's just say you had a division question. 5 over 9 divided by 3 over 15. Division questions must always be changed into multiplication questions. There's really no such thing as division. For fractions, you must be converting them into multiplication. To do that, you keep the first fraction exactly the same. Change your divide sign to a multiply. So you've converted one operation to another. And the way that you compensate is you take your second fraction and you invert it. What that practical term is you take the reciprocal. So when you take that second term and you invert it, you're going to end up with a flipped fraction. Now to complete the question, you can do the same thing you did before. You can multiply across the tops, or you can cancel first. Entirely up to you. If you wanted to cancel first, you wouldn't be able to do that. Well, you could take out a factor of 3. Let's just say you took out 3 goes into 15 5 times, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. What you're left with is 5 times 5 on the top and 3 times 3 on the bottom. So therefore your answer, I guess, will be 25 over 9. It's always a good idea to make your answer practical. So you should never leave your answer as an improper fraction. You should break it down to a mixed number. So 9 goes into 25 twice. 9 times 2 is 18. So 18 from 25 leaves a remainder of 7. So 2 and 7/9. So to repeat, division questions must always be converted to multiplication questions. You can reduce first, or you can reduce second, but you must only reduce when you're in the multiplication stage. You should never try to cancel in the division stage. Okay, you're going to end up in big trouble if you start to do that. Multiplying straight across, then reducing, or reducing first. Either way, you'll always get the same answer. That's the basics of multiplying and dividing.